Hello, everyone. It's Michelle with Twin Flame Warriors. Welcome to the third installment in our bonus podcast series, Portrait of a Twin Flame. Today, we welcome portrait subject Pradnya. Pradnya is an Indian expat living in Dubai and a veteran contributor to the Twin Flame community over on Quora, where she's been answering questions on the subject of twin flames for 5 years. Pradnya first encountered her twin flame as a teenager when their very first 3D interaction erupted in a street fight. Over the course of their teens, 20s, and 30s, Pradnya and her twin flame did a dance of separation and reunion in 3D. Between their infrequent moments of sustained contact, both married soulmates and started families, yet they were somehow magnetized back to each other's presence time and again. Eventually, in the 2010s, both awakened spiritually and separately discovered that they were twin souls. Together, they confirmed their feelings for each other, but they chose to remain in 3D separation while strengthening their 5D connection. One day in February 2021, Pradnya's twin flame contacted her to tell her that no matter where she was in this world, whether he was still here or not, they would always be together. While she thought it was an odd comment, Pradnya didn't dwell on it. 2 months later, she woke to see a post on her social feed that her twin had died. 2 months into her grief, Pradnya is here to share her story. While it made me cry, it is also one of the most uplifting stories of twin flame connection I have heard yet. Before we begin our interview, please consider donating to support Justin's and my Twin Flame Soul Mission. We provide our content free of charge, trusting that the universe will support us in this work so that we may continue being beacons. If we've helped you on your journey, we welcome your blessing. The link to our donation page is in the show notes, or we receive via PayPal at michelle@twinflamewarriors.com. Now, without further ado, I give you Portrait of a Twin Flame, Pradnya. Thanks for being here today, Pradnya. I know you've been through a really rough time, and I'd just like to get a background on your whole twin flame journey, and then we can talk about the recent experiences you've had.
So basically, I come from India. I met my twin flame when I was 14 years old. So I think I was in school in 9th standard. When I met him, it was completely not what anybody would expect, because we had not even got introduced to each other. We were both in our teens, like he had just passed his 10th standard. I think we just had age gap of like 2 years. We actually ended up fighting with each other on the street before even we were introduced to each other because of some misunderstanding. And we started yelling at each other and used a lot of abusive language, which I never ever used with anyone else but him. Since then, we became enemies in our whole locality, where most of the people knew us both because we stayed in a very close proximity. Everybody knew that we are enemies. Whenever I'm around them, he, along with his friends, would make fun of me, call me different names, or even bully me for that matter.
Wow.
So the initial 5 years were completely like this, that we never even spoke to each other. We hated each other. Especially he hated me a lot. And if you really ask me from my side, when I spoke to him for the first time and when we ended up with this street fight, something changed inside me, because I felt some sort of charismatic presence of his aura, or I don't know. I can't really explain what it was.
You reacted to him on a soul level.
Yeah, exactly. And somewhere I was not able to hate him. I really tried my best to hate him because he hated me. And I tried my best to ignore him all those years. And as we were like really naive people, like just being in middle school, it was like that time I used to feel that I'm just crazy, getting attracted to some guy I have met, and that's it. But then slowly I discovered that, okay, whatever I feel for him is not just mere attraction. There is something more to it. And even though he did not want to see my face ever, I could not really hate him at all. And somewhere there was this deep understanding or deep knowing inside my heart that there is something more to this. I always felt that he would talk to me someday, or he would come back, or some sort of feeling. That time, of course, I'm talking about the year 1990. That time there were no term called twin flames, or there was no internet as such.
Wow, 1990. So, no, that's before anybody really
Yeah.
started talking about it.
So, of course, I was definitely not aware of this term twin flames. I had not known what this connection was all about. And most of those years, I felt that I was somebody who was really, really crazy about somebody, not in a very normal way. It's not like having general crush on somebody or falling in love with somebody. There was something different. That feeling I had since the beginning, even though I did not know what exactly it was. As the years passed by, of course, he also changed a bit. He also started understanding, became a little mature person in his 20s. And he didn't want to fight with me. He did talk to me nicely after that. But when I graduated, I met him in 1990. I'm talking about 1997. So 7 years. We were having this whole lukewarm kind of, I won't say running, chasing, but very difficult sort of a relationship. Not a relationship, I would say connection, where there is something, but there isn't something. And it's very weird. Like most of the people call us each other's enemies, but we do have something. Always there is some undercurrent which is flowing in this whole scenario. So when I was 20 and I started applying for my master's outside my hometown, that's when I decided that if I really get an admission somewhere outside, which is away from my home, I'm going to tell him what I have been feeling about him. Because till then I had no courage to actually go walk up to him and say things which were there in my mind. So I actually got admission for my master's outside my hometown. And when I went there and I settled myself in my hostel, of course, there was no internet. So I wrote him a letter saying that I do have like a lot of deep feelings for you. And even though you don't like me, I just wanted to express my feelings for you. He did receive that letter. He did not reply me on that letter or even did not acknowledge that letter for 2 years. But I knew that he has received that letter. Those 2 years have been really, really significant when it comes to my inner journey as a twin flame, because I have gone through all sorts of emotion coming from being rejected, abandoned, ignored. And those feelings, especially if you consider that age that I'm in my early 20s, not even early 20s, I was just starting my 20s, I guess. At that age where you are like really not understanding many things on a deeper level, having these feelings like rejection and abandonment for someone who you have like very special feelings for this person. So there always had been this struggle that okay, I have this inner knowing that this person is special and he's going to come back. At the same time, he's not really responding to me in any way when it comes to the physical reality or the 3D world. I would say the first major synchronicity which happened with us was after these 2 years were passed. I had already processed all this anger and everything. And one day came, I had come back to my hometown for something and I saw him. He was standing around my house talking to somebody and I saw him and he also noticed me that I have come back and I am at home. He ignored me. Obviously, he did not acknowledge anything. And this thought came into my mind that there is no value to what you feel for somebody, faith, love, patience, all these virtues, they don't mean anything, because if they were really having any sort of importance, this guy would at least acknowledge what I have told him. I decided that I just want to give up. Like, that point comes that so long you hold on for something with a lot of faith and patience. There is this one point which tells you that, okay, let it go. You don't need to be there and this is enough. Like, you can't take anymore. And you won't believe the moment I 100% came to that point that I truly from my heart, I let go what I was holding on for all those years. You won't believe in 20 minutes he came and he talked. Just 20 minutes, less than half an hour.
I believe it.
It was like a first biggest synchronicity I experienced, because when he went back, I was like, oh my God. I mean, more than him coming to me, I was more in the awe of the divine, that how come something like this can really happen, that you let go something and it's not even half an hour. And this guy comes and he tells me that, okay, look, I got your letter and I don't want to, fight with you or anything. Let's be friends and let's talk and let's meet sometime for a coffee or something of that sort, he said. And he went. It was just a 2 minute talk, but he did come that time.
Uh-huh.
And that changed everything, because that is the moment when I really learned about letting go. What does it really mean? It does not come by hypothetically understanding what letting go is. Even if you teach somebody what is letting go, they can't really understand till they come to this point where they really are truly able to let it go completely 100% from their heart. Because I think the magic only happens then, once you truly let go something.
It's got to be like, it has to be through your whole soul, your being, everything. You have to be willing to let your journey happen, however it's supposed to happen. I know, I'm with you.
So that was the first time I strongly felt this divine presence. And I really felt that I was not alone and there was something listening to me all the time. And they wanted me to believe in what I was believing. So this was the first divine sign in my whole journey up till then. I met him 7 years back, but my first click or my real encounter with the divine experience was that after 7 years of my journey. Of course, I have been feeling a lot of inner voice and, things telling me that, okay, you have to stay on this path and everything before as well. But this was the most strongest and most evident, I would say. After that, we kept meeting. And of course, we were never in a relationship. We never dated each other. He already was in a relationship and I was okay with that. Even only by being connected with him in some way, I was very much happy to be like that. And then I understood that, okay, he is not really interested in a relationship. Our second phase of our journey started in 2009. I got married in 2002. So those 4 years after we actually started talking with each other, we were very much on and off with each other as friends, and we used to share good times with each other, having a music concert together or having a coffee, those things.
Platonic enjoyment of being with your twin flame.
Yeah. And the thing is, it was never platonic from my side. I know now that it was never ever platonic from his side too. But it was only this that, okay, he was already committed to someone. So that point was making him, knock that possibility out that, okay, I'm already committed with somebody. So might as well be friends. That was the scenario. After I got married, I came to Dubai. I shifted from India. There was almost no contact between each other for 7 years after that. I mean, we used to wish each other birthdays and New Year's and Christmas and all that. But apart from that, we never had anything more, which was in terms of communication. There was no other communication happening with us.
Justin, ever since we met, is constantly in my head. I talk to him. I feel what he's feeling when he's at work. I kind of know what's going on with him. Did you feel that during the 7 years of this separation when you were in Dubai and he was still in India?
Not at all. Not at all. There was completely no contact. And when I was married, of course, I used to think about him in such a way that, because he has been a part of my energetic life or my emotional life for so long. So it was kind of impossible for me to completely get him out of my mind. So obviously I used to think about him, but I was not longing for him. I was not yearning, or I was not kind of missing kind of a feeling I was not having in those years. And now if I look at that whole scenario, I feel that I think it was a blessing for me that I was not longing for him in those years. And somewhere I feel that the divine gave me that dormant period to breathe properly. If I was feeling that yearning and longing in those years also, I don't know, maybe we would have gone on some other path. I think whatever happened was already planned like that. So those 7 years, miraculously, I did not long for him. I did not crave, or I didn't miss him in that way. But when in 2009, those thoughts again started coming back to me. I had this urge to contact him again, and I had this feeling that, okay, I have to get in touch with him. And at one point, it became so strong that I used to literally get dreams almost every night. There will be just one dream having the same theme but different situations. Like I'm trying to contact him, but in one dream, his phone is out of order, so it's not connecting. Or my instrument is broken down, or I'm searching some public booth, but it is broken down, or my address book where I have written his number, that page is torn off, so I can't have his number. So the situation is different, but the dream is the same, that I am trying to contact him, but I am not able to contact him. It happened almost like for 3-4 months in a row. I was having this dream again and again, again and again. And in waking life, I had his number. I could call him anytime I wanted to. But I never had courage to call him because of, I don't know, some unknown fears inside me. Maybe he will not like that I'm a married woman now and I'm calling him. Or again, that fear of rejection, or I don't know what, but I did not have courage to pick the phone and call him that time. But because of these recurring dreams and this constant pain which was getting generated because of these dreams, somewhere I really started considering that, okay, I accept that I'm missing him and I need to contact him in whichever way. One day I came to this conclusion that I have to write to him again and I have to tell him everything what I'm feeling right now. And it might happen that he will just burst out or he'll get angry that how can you write to me something like this? You are a married person now and this and that. Okay, by that time he also was married. So I was a little skeptical, but I took 1 month and I kept drafting the letter, whatever I wanted to write to him. I didn't send it immediately because many times it happens that, you become emotional and you write something and you send and then you regret that, oh my God, why did I send something like this?
Yes.
So I didn't want to land in that sort of a situation. So I decided unless and until I completely agree with all my senses that this is what I want to send him, I'm not going to send this letter to him. So I kept drafting it, deleting, updating, rewriting. The whole 30 days I took. I wrote saying that I still miss you. I don't know why do I still miss you. And you might not really like what I'm writing, but this is what my heart says and I wanted to express this to you. Don't take it in any other way. I just wanted to put off the burden from my shoulders. Something like that. It was a long letter. And he received that letter and he replied to me, okay, I'll send you a detailed reply tomorrow. And then he sent me a reply and it was such an emotional reply. And he was literally crying, I guess, while he was writing that email. Obviously, as I expected, he had written that, okay, why are you thinking about me? And you have a wonderful family, forget about it and this and that. And when I sent, I had this dilemma that what if he does not reply me? But then I thought that anyways, there is nothing happening between us right now. There is nothing to lose. If he doesn't reply, there is no difference in his life as well as my life. But I need to take that chance to come out of that comfort zone and do something about it if I'm really feeling like sending him a mail. He did reply me and it was a very emotional reply. As I expected, he said, forget about it. I do understand and I'm very sorry if in any way I have hurt you ever before. Let's not talk to each other because it will make the situation complex and this and that. And then he vanished. I knew that this would happen. I was mentally prepared, but at least I felt good that, okay, I wrote him a mail. And you won't believe, even after writing this mail, always, constantly, somebody used to tell me in my brain, your story is not over. Your story is not over. He is going to be back. Even though there is nothing happening on the surface, something will keep telling me this, that this story is not over. Your story is not over. Like this particular dialogue that your story is not over will keep playing in my head again and again. So the days passed like this. After 1.5 year, I had gone to a long Europe trip and I came back and I was thinking about him generally. And this thought came to my mind that I really wanted to talk to him. So many days have passed and I have not heard from him. And you won't believe, within 2 hours. I received an international call from him. Of course, I was not expecting his call. And he talked as if nothing has happened, as if there is there is nothing which he's taking from what previously we had left, where, our conversation. He started talking as if like we are generally talking, every day we talk like that. And then he start like, how are you? What's up? And how was your trip? This, that, because he got to know that I was on Europe trip. So he asked me how was my trip. He introduced me to his wife on phone. And that's it. It was a general call. There was nothing else. And I kept that call and I was wondering like what is happening, because I was just thinking about him. I was thinking that, okay, I wanted to call him or talk to him. There has been like almost a gap of 2 years we haven't talked to each other. And he called for no apparent reason. I think that call was another milestone because he generally called me. I don't know what was happening in his mind at that time. After that, from that day, he started talking to me on Facebook. And he wanted to, and why he started all this? Because he wanted to have answers to a lot of questions he had in mind. I think in those 2 years, when he stopped talking to me after he read my email, he also had a lot of questions in his mind, which he was trying to get answers and process things in his mind. I think somewhere he arrived at some milestone in his own mind, and that is why he called me and talked to me. And after that, he started asking me since how long I have been feeling all these things for him, and do I really still feel for him? All these questions he used to ask. He would never express anything from his side, but he was absolutely interested in knowing what is it that I am feeling from my side. Even if I ask him what is it that you are feeling, he will avoid that completely. He would ask me all these questions, and I understood that, okay, he is wanting these answers from me. So I was okay even if he doesn't express anything from his side.
When you would explain things to him, Pradnya, would he react with recognition of that, or would he just wait and ask the next question about how you felt?
He would definitely react, but not directly. Like he won't say that, okay, I also feel like that. He won't say that. He would do something by which I know that, okay, he's also feeling the same thing. For example, he didn't ever say in those days that he also is having the same feelings I have for him. One day we were just having some fun, and I said that, okay, you close your eyes and maybe, if you can hear what I feel in my mind, and if your mind can read, just let me know. So he said, okay, I'm closing my eyes. I just sent him a mind message that, okay, I love you very much. So he said that, yeah, I get your message, what it is. So with something like this, he expressed. Yeah, and that time he said that, yeah, I got what you're saying, that you're saying I love you. My mind told you the same. That is what he said. So it's an indirect confrontation. He would never.
So when he said that to you, had you felt that message echo back from him?
Absolutely, all the time. Even though he was not talking to me, that time also I have felt that. Yeah, so that's how we reconnected again after the 7 years of no talk period. But then, of course, we both were married and we were having a different situation completely than previously when we were meeting each other. I told my husband, he was upset. There was a lot of drama in our house because I told him that he's somebody who is definitely more than a friend and I am talking to him. So it was obvious that he would get upset. But the thing is that my husband has been a really, really understanding person. He's not that sort of a typical guy who would expect a certain behavior from his wife only for the sake of being married. That was the initial reaction he had, that he was upset, but slowly he tried to understand what I am feeling, and he said it's okay, I understand what you feel.
A good soulmate who worked with you to understand where you were at.
Absolutely. So it's not that I haven't had a difficult period in my marriage because of this journey. There has been a lot actually because when he got to know that my husband is not really fine with us talking to each other, he said it's better that we don't talk to each other because it's going to make things complex, and I do understand your husband's perspective as well, so let's stop by telling this to me, he deleted me from Facebook and he stopped all the communication. So that was our second separation, I would say. And it was much, much more painful for me because by this time we had confronted a lot of things with each other. It was definitely more intense than the first time we had our separation. In this separation, I was actually awakened in 2011, and I started understanding and reading about this term twin flame, and everything started making sense. I could connect the dots for all the years since we met. It took me 3 more years to validate whether we were really twin flames because, okay, reading about something, I was not that sort of a person, by the way, who would trust in soulmates and stuff. I was a very logical person, very coming from a very intellectual background.
What I tell people is that before I met Justin, I did not believe in love. I did not believe that the way people described love was real or that I could feel it for anyone, right? I thought it was, I rationalized everything and logically thought through things instead of using my heart.
Absolutely, absolutely. So for me, okay, I believed in love maybe because of this reason that I met my twin flame just when I was 14. So I did believe in love since that age because I had already met him. But I had never thought about all this soulmate and I used to feel that okay, these are all very hypothetical concepts and only exist in fairy tales or films, and that's fine. When I started awakening in 2011 and I started connecting all the dots of what has been happening in my own journey, then I started believing that, okay, this is possible because I have myself been going through this. Yeah, so my journey of awakening and ascension started in 2011, so almost 10 years back. After that, it has been really, really on a fast track, like the connection separation, running, chasing, the surrender, and so many synchronicities. All this whole drama has been happening since 2011 till 2021, I would say. These 10 years have been like really, really significant in terms of my awakening ascension as a twin flame. We several times we connected and separated after we decided that we don't want to be in touch with each other because we are married. In 2016, I connected with him for some other reason, for some project I was working on, and I asked him if he's interested in working on that project as well. And it was not at all related to our connection or anything of that sort. And that is why I asked him openly that, okay, this is something purely professional and I want to ask you something. But that communication took us again back to our connection and we started again talking about those things. And that's when he actually confronted me, because in 2011, when he was talking to me, he didn't have the courage or the clarity to say what he was feeling. But in 2016, he was very clear. So in 5 years, he also progressed a lot, even though he was quite disconnected with me. And he told me that I feel that our connection is greater than any marriage. I feel that we are one soul in two bodies. That is what he said. By that time, he had understood that very clearly. So I was very happy to hear that. I always used to feel that if it is a twin flame connection, it's not going to be me who is going to introduce to him this concept that, okay, you know what, we are twin flames. That was like real no-no for me. I felt that if really that validation needs to come, it needs to come from him.
Without you eliciting it?
Without me telling him that, you know what, I have heard this concept called twin flames and I feel that we are twin flames, I felt that was real no-no.
Me too. I wouldn't tell Justin. I found out what twin flames were in January of 2017, and it was 18 months before I told him, and I knew I couldn't be the one to introduce it to him. His wife introduced it to him, and then he came to me and asked. And so that's interesting. You had the same experience.
Somewhere I was always up with this thought that I'm not going to be the one who is going to tell him anything. If at all he also is feeling the same thing, he will come and tell me so that I can validate what I am feeling is right. And that is what he did. He himself came and he said that, okay, this is what I feel. And that time, I think it was completely validated that, okay, what I am feeling and what he's feeling is the same. In 2016, we decided that, okay, let's meet and let's talk to each other. So physically, we met after almost 10 years after we met physically with each other. It was an amazing meeting. We just hugged each other for a long time. I don't even remember how long we were hugging each other. It was like just felt like coming back home, and there were so many confrontations and validation. And that meeting really changed everything, everything, literally. I can say that even I started writing on Quora about twin flames immediately after, even less than 10 days after our meeting. So somewhere if I want to connect the dots, I feel that there was this huge energetic exchange which happened in our physical reunion, or whatever you want to call it. Immediately there was so much of shift in my life. I ended up fighting with my real brother. Most of my close relationships completely fell apart. I was not talking to my family members. My marriage was on the rocks. My career came down. Everything was completely below the ground. Only one positive anchor point in my life was my twin flame. Because if I had not met him, I wouldn't have been able to go through so much, which was completely falling apart on every front, in my interpersonal relationships, my marriage, social life, career, finance, everything. Any front you take, it was completely going down. Now I can feel that, okay, this whole thing was happening for a certain reason, certain purpose. And I started writing on Quora. That was the first time I started connecting with the collective. Before that, I was only on my own. I did not know any other person who was on this journey. I had not interacted with any other twin flame before I met him in 2016. It started only after 10 days approximately. And there was somebody who sent me a message from some another site saying that there is one group, which is a twin flame group. Do you want to join that? So all these invitations and the collective presence, the twin flame collective presence, it started being in my life only after I met him in 2016. I started writing, and today even I feel that when I started writing on Quora, definitely it was not a coincidence. It was definitely a divine intervention, where by that time I was 100% convinced about what this journey is all about, what a twin flame is, what is a twin flame experience, what is the purpose of this journey. Most of those realizations I had already got, and they were completely validated with our physical meeting. Because of that, I got a very good confidence in this whole belief what I was carrying, and which actually gave me this energy or the urge to write about it or to share that experience with other people. So when I started writing on Quora, I had never ever planned that I would come on this side and I would share anything about twin flames, because I came to Quora on some other subject, some professional project. I happened to see one twin flame question which I felt I could answer. That's why I answered that question. And since I answered one question, Quora started throwing me more and more questions related to the same topic. And that's how I started writing. So it was completely unplanned. Before even I realized what I'm doing, I had already answered so many questions. And somewhere I started realizing that it's not really me who is answering the questions. There is definitely something which is a divine intervention here. Because so many questions I would reread, which I have myself written, and I would wonder myself that when did I write this answer? I don't remember, reading or writing this answer any time before. And then I started suspecting that, okay, maybe I'm channeling the answer, or somebody is telling me the answer. I don't know what it is. The more and more I started feeling this, that urge of writing and answering was getting even stronger, more and more stronger. And there have been so many times when I was frustrated, I was not doing well in my life. And so many times I decided that, okay, I don't want to write on Quora now. Let's stop this activity. It's just taking a lot of time of mine. Exactly at that point, someone from Quora would write to me that thank you for being there. If you had not written this answer, I would have lost it in my life. So many people have written to me like that, and reading those feedbacks, or my people who are really in pain and they're really feeling relieved when they read something which I have written, looking at that, so many times I have cancelled this thought that, okay, let it be, whatever
it's
I'm doing
healing
is
job. It's healing.
Exactly. So I would come to this conclusion that, okay, there is somebody who is getting benefited from whatever I'm writing. It's obviously not a waste of time. So let's continue. Let's continue. And like that, I have been writing so far. That's about my Quora story. And
Wow.
when it comes to the journey after 2016, as we met in 2016, we never met after that till date. Physically, we were not able to meet each other after 2016. In these 5 years, from 2016 to 2021, as I feel that my mission was activated and I got connected to the Twin Flame Collective, and so many people started connecting to me and asked me different things. And I'm glad that I was able to help them in whichever way they wanted. My ascension has been really, really fast from 2016 to 21. It literally changed my way of thinking, because before 2016, I would say I was completely a 3D kind of a person. Yeah, I was awakening and I was raising my awareness, but the way I was able to progress after 2016 was way, way faster than before. In February 2021, we reached another milestone in our journey when he contacted me again. He was traveling somewhere and he had 4 days where he could actually give a lot of time to me with a lot of focus. And there were a lot of things he told me in terms of what he feels about our connection. And he knew that I write on Quora, and he was very well aware of the spiritual aspect and everything. He did tell me that if at all I'm here on this earth or not, I'm going to always be there with you. And I thought, okay, this guy is, sometimes he keeps being emotional and he's just saying it just for the sake of it, that okay, if I'm here or not today or tomorrow, I'm with you. It's one of those statements. But now when I look back, I feel that, oh my God, he was actually signaling me or giving me clues that he may not be here after this. When I talked to his wife after he passed away, she told me that they had this understanding that he had some heart issue and there is a possibility that anything could happen. He had an idea about it. And I think because of that, he was giving me this idea by not telling it to me directly that this can happen. He wanted to tell me something about it. He did say that, okay, I'm going to be with you even though I'm not going to be here. And then he also said that you will live 20, 30 years more than me. And I said, why would that be? Like, who wants to be living so much? Like, I don't want to be living here more than 30 years than you. So I thought, okay, that was also, again, something he's just blabbering around. But now I'm getting that meaning, whatever he was trying to tell me. February 2021, I would say we were like completely on same page, completely in harmony. We wanted to meet each other, and we did decide that, okay, whenever the pandemic gets over and everything is normal, we would travel and we would meet each other, but that never happened. I can say that February conversation which we had with each other was very, very significant in terms of our alignment. Of course, there is no closure between twin flames because he's still communicating with me. So there is no closure as such. If I really take the physicality in consideration that, okay, he was also physically here and I was also physically here, we had a very good closure. That is what I would say. I mean, there was nothing between us which we felt that, okay, this was not expressed or this was not said.
In 3D.
It was completely okay. We both, our souls as well as our physical minds maybe, were mentally ready to close it there, close it in the sense there is nothing which is remaining in terms of expressing anything to each other. We understand each other. We are completely on the same page in alignment with each other. There is nothing which needs to be brought up or healed or addressed or anything of that sort.
Truly in union, though not physically beside each other.
Absolutely. So, and I feel that definitely had some reason why it happened that time. I think our spirit guides and everybody must be knowing that he has to leave in next 2 months. So I think they made it happen, that particular conversation.
Are you okay sharing with us how you found out that he had passed?
Yeah, April 7th was his birthday. on each of his birthday, I have always been wishing him in a very creative way. Every birthday, I will find something creative and I will send it to him. So this year, I recorded one very, very old love song, which was sung a solo song by a female singer. And we both are into music. So he really loved the musical aspect, which was very common in us. So I sent that song and he actually passed away on the 14th April night. So just 1 week after his birthday. He was okay. He was completely well. He received my song. And even after 7th, on 9th, and on the same day when he passed that night, we had interacted like, what are you doing? Or something very general questions, WhatsApp and stuff. So for me, I had never expected that something like this will happen. I slept that night, and when I got up in the morning, we had a lot of common friends. So one of our common friends had sent this message that so and so person passed away yesterday night due to cardiac arrest. And this is a very sad news. And I was shocked and I couldn't really believe, because I was seeing his name and somebody saying that he passed away due to cardiac arrest. Literally, like I couldn't believe. I again read that and I was making sure that it is his name and he's referring to him only. And somewhere I was understanding that yeah, it is a serious message and it is about him only. I was understanding that. And very, very strange thing which I felt when I read that message was, it was a complete shock for me. Like my physical mind obviously was not able to process this news. But somewhere inside me, something told me, oh, this message has finally come. That was my inner voice telling me. I still remember that word, finally. Something told me from inside that finally this news is here. That means my soul already knew about it. At a soul level, I believe that I was expecting that news somewhere around this time. But my physical mind obviously couldn't believe it. So first 2 hours I was completely numb. I was not crying, I was not reacting, nothing. I was just trying to process that what has happened. And then after that, don't ask me, like the first month has been like really the worst period of my time, like whole life, I would say.
I'm sorry, I'm crying.
Yeah, because I couldn't understand what to do, and suddenly your whole life, like all my last 30 years I have lived energetically with this person. Suddenly you get this news. I didn't speak to anybody the whole day. I told my husband that he passed away. I just went to bed and I was just sleeping. So my husband also understood that, okay, I'm completely disturbed, so let her be on her own. So nobody in my, like my daughter, my husband, they were very understanding. They didn't disturb me for the whole day. I didn't talk to anybody for the whole day. I didn't pick anybody's phone, nothing. I was just processing. Next day, I put a message on Quora that I felt that, okay, this is, I think, my moral responsibility to inform everybody, because I do write about this connection and this is a massive thing which has happened. So I wrote about it on Quora also, because, okay, I have been writing on Quora for last 4-5 years now. I have connected to so many people who write to me personally or have connected to me so well now in last 4-5 years through their conversations, communications, emails, whatever you want to call it. And I was so overwhelmed by this fact that everybody is feeling the same pain what I'm going through. People were like literally crying, like as if they have lost their own twin flame. And they were feeling my pain. And
the collective is connected. We feel your pain.
Absolutely. And I knew that, but I literally experienced that power, that energy when I was going through that. And I literally felt that if I had not got that love or that support, energetic energy which people were sending me at that time, I wouldn't have been able to cope up with it the way I could eventually. So I'm so eternally grateful to everybody who has written to me, or not written to me, but has been there. I have been there in their thoughts and they have been praying for me and my twin flame. it's a new learning for me, the power of collective. I mean, I started feeling that if people are so much with each other and you can really feel that energy so much when you are so much in pain, imagine that if we can convert that energy in something really powerful. I mean, we do hold that power, but we don't use it
Turn
the
it to
way we
love.
should be. Yeah, exactly. So that was a new learning for me in that whole process.
I wonder how that lesson that you acquired will play out now in the next stage of your journey.
Yeah, another thing I really felt bad about, because when it is a twin flame journey, your twin flame is having a completely different karmic life. I mean, maybe in your case now you are in physical union, it must be completely different. But in our case, as we were physically in different countries, having different karmic partners, when he passed away, I was not a part of his karmic life at all. Karmically, whoever he was connected to in his life, in his hometown, I have been completely away from it. So people who were grieving for him, his relatives, his family, his friends, though we have common friends, and that was a great thing for me, at least I could speak to his a few of his best friends, but otherwise I have completely been out of his life. In terms of, people won't even know me, that I am existing in his life, and I am equally saddened by this news. I couldn't be a part of that life of his ever. But at the same time, I felt so good because we had created our own family as a twin flame collective. So even though there was nobody from that family who would console me that, okay, don't feel bad, there was a huge group of people who consoled me more than a family. I'm sure that whatever his wife also must have not got so many messages of love and protection the way I have received. I really feel overwhelmed because of that. I'm sure that as a soul, he must be so happy to see that there is another soul family or another soul tribe he belongs to who loves him so much.
Yes.
So it was kind of a parallel life, that one life he lived a worldly thing where there was nothing which was related to a twin flame journey or anything of that sort. And on another side, there was another world who was also grieving for him.
Almost like we live in the 3D world and the spiritual world all the
Yeah.
time, two worlds. Yeah.
So that was another realization which I had. Since he left, I have, even though this was a very, very bad happening or bad phase or a bad milestone which I had to experience, somewhere I have always been feeling that there is something bigger which is attached to this. His demise is definitely not random. This is definitely not accident. This is a part of plan, and it is definitely related to what we are as twin flames and what we have been doing as a mission. It is definitely a part of it. And maybe up till now, for last 30 years, he has been my twin flame and he has been playing his role in the matrix. I was the spiritual one who was awakened, and I was playing my role as an awakened twin flame. But after 30 years, his role in the physical was over. Now he had to work from the non-physical to support me. He took another role because he finished one of the milestones he had to finish. That is what I feel. That is what my inner knowing sees. When he passed away, I did have one very small vision when I was sleeping. I think within a first week it happened, where I got to see that he has reached the light and he is going through this rejuvenation process of a soul, where the soul is healed after the soul actually goes through a certain life. After that, he is going to some place where he does the review of his life and his mission, and he speaks with his spirit guides about it. In that vision, I was shown that these two things are happening right now. I have never had such visions when it is related to afterlife as such. This was the first vision which I got, and which made me at peace, that okay, at least he is where he's supposed to be, and he's well taken care of, and he's in the light. So that is something which I was really happy about. He passed on April 15th. I started receiving some sort of taps on my right knee. Okay, this goes very interesting now.
Yeah.
I was really in pain. So first 8-10 days, I think I was so much lost that maybe I was not able to pick the signals because of the pain or the lower vibrations I was handling. But as I started feeling better, I started sensing things around, and the way he communicates with me is by tapping me either on my arm or my knee, on my shoulder or on my third eye or on my head. Somewhere, I mean, I can't describe exactly which part of my body. It would most probably the most relaxed part of my body. Suppose, say, if I'm lying down and if there is a lot of tension in my legs, he will not tap me on my legs. He will tap me somewhere where that part is relaxed. So it's easier to sense that something is there.
That's amazing that he
Yeah.
chooses to go
Yes.
where you're able to receive.
It started with knee, and I have never felt any sort of a vibrational sensation in my knee ever before that. I also went through this certain process of validation because I had this doubt that, okay, I'm getting some sort of a nudge or a vibration or a tap on my knee, but is it him or I am just imagining something, or maybe my muscles are stressed? I don't know what. As the days started passing by, I was becoming more and more sure that it is him. Because then, when I would ask in my mind that, is that you? I would get that response. Again, I would get some sort of a tap. I can say after 2 months, I'm 1000% sure that it is him. Now we are even able to communicate like that. That
Amazing.
whatever I'm asking, I'm getting response. As the days are passing by, I am now even able to understand the emotion behind that tap. Suppose if I'm receiving the tap, I would feel if that tap is to agree with me, or if it is to give me some moral support, or it is for something else, or he means to say something else. Some sort of emotion, whatever is attached with that tap, I am able to receive that as well. After he passed away, I am again on some another sort of a journey. Okay. Because as you say, that the spiritual journey is eternal, like your soul is always looking for more and more, and there is always a new horizon. So as we finished this one milestone of being in union with each other, apart from being physically together, on every level we were in union with each other, this question would definitely arise in my mind that, okay, so what next? Okay, we have come till here, and maybe our mission is also active. We are in energetic union with each other. What next? So somewhere I feel that the divine is showing me that next, because after he passed away, I got to do so many things in terms of seeking different things which I had never wanted to seek, or maybe I was not really drawn to them. For example, channeling. I had never thought about channeling. But I figured out how people are doing it, what is the best way to do it. I spoke to different channels who are actually teaching channeling to people, how they are doing. It was a learning curve for me. So I started meditating more. I started connecting to my spirit guides more, because one of the channels told me that you are already connected because you are already on a spiritual journey. But if you really make it a point that you are deliberately practicing every day to connect with your guides and your higher self in a certain way, your ability to receive messages from spirit realm and your twin flame will increase drastically. You need to be practicing it. So I said, fine. I started sitting down every day, and you won't believe, every day I'm getting amazing information from either my twin flame or from my spirit guides. I won't say I'm very much expert in it because I have never channeled so far, never felt the need or urge to do so. But now, as the situation in my life has changed, I have been doing it very much with excitement, and I feel that there is so much to learn there. And I also feel that there is definitely something there out for me. That is why I'm so excited about it from within. Like, I really want to pursue it, and I really want to see what they are saying. And then I started feeling that, oh my God, like there was so much out there. Why I was not doing this before? Like, why I could have done this before also. It could have been completely different.
It wasn't
But
time yet.
now,
It wasn't
Yeah,
time.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. It wasn't a time. So now, as I'm seeing, I'm practicing the channeling every day. Call my twin flame. I have told him that, okay, I want to practice this channeling thing because unless and until I practice, I cannot be like really well versed with it. Please come through and talk to me. I'm going to practice it. So every day, at least for 10-15 minutes, I practice it. And even within that practice session, there has been so much which I am able to learn in terms of this channeling as a skill, in terms of whatever he's telling me as an information.
I'm wondering if you want to try like automatic writing and ask a question for the collective or for yourself. See if you two together can channel an answer for the collective on something. That just to me sounds like such a neat purpose to put this to.
Yes, I'm very much open for it. And I did try. First and second attempt, I was pretty much successful in actually doing automatic writing. But then in my third, fourth, fifth attempt, it didn't really work the way it worked for the first two times. Then someone told me that you really need to learn it from expert. You can't just try it on your own. So I again started being skeptical. After that, somebody tried to tell me that you just need to trust because you're not a normal person, you are an awakened person, you already know about spirituality. So you don't need to worry about who is invading your energy space and whatever. If you are vibrating higher, you are already protected.
You're your own best teacher when you're in that place. We want to listen to everybody and their experience. But for me to be able to master a skill at this point on my awakening and my journey is I have to focus on it, meditate on it myself, practice it myself, think about it. That's how it grows. It sounds like you're similar.
When it comes to automatic writing, I kept it aside for a while, though I really wanted to explore it. I started doing an experiment with channeling in terms of listening. Even when I write on Quora, most of the time what I'm writing is coming through my thoughts. You won't be able to know the difference whether I am thinking or there are some thoughts which are being channeled from the higher realms. But there is something which is going on in my mind and I write. So I thought I'm very well versed with that process. So why not have the same process when I'm channeling anybody else? That's when I started trying this method that I would meditate, I would call him through my meditation, and whatever is coming in my mind, I would trust that it is coming from him and I would write down myself on the paper. So it's not automatic writing, it's me who is writing it, but I'm converting whatever thoughts which are coming in my mind on the paper. And that is what I am doing right now as a practice. But I have not knocked out the automatic writing as well. I am definitely interested in learning that as well.
Well, however your healing gifts, I guess, look for you. I mean, I'm a Reiki master practitioner. But I practice something called bettering. It has elements of Reiki in it. It's a similar kind of energy healing practice, but it also has much more hands-on, and it has to do with reading people's flesh memories. Of course, your soul brings memories from other timelines and karmic lessons to learn, and they can show up in your physical body in forms of illness, or if you have a trauma and a scar forms. My healing, which relies heavily on Reiki, and Reiki is what led me to it, does something different. It takes Reiki and uses it to read those memories. And I don't know anyone else who does it, but it sounds like you with automatic writing, that was one entry point into this other level or layer of skill that you have.
Yes. Even in this channeling practice, he is telling me that because I'm still processing the pain, and there are times that in a day you would remember something suddenly and you will feel like crying, or I still do cry even after 2 months of his passing. In one of the channeling session, he said that your guides are preparing you for the next phase. It's up to you, like, the sooner you come out of your grief and the sooner you come out of your pain, there is so much waiting for you and there is a lot of work to do. That is what he said like a week back. So I guess my guides are still waiting for me to come to my normal senses, which they believe that I'm not still normal.
You need time. We're on a planet where time only runs one direction, and it takes time for the processing to happen. I'm amazed, and I'm so thankful that you can talk to me already right now when you're still so close to that moment of separation. It's like you went from a shift of like this separation in
Yes.
3D to being
Yeah.
together all the time. And that's just beautiful. And it just
Yeah.
gives me goosebumps.
It is because as awakened people, we believe that, we are spirits, we have soul, and we also do have a body, and originally we are a light energy. The death is just a transition into a non-physical. We know all this.
Right.
Like, we will definitely not say anything else and believe this principle 100%. But when you really start experiencing its reality, till he passed, it was just a hypothetical statement for me that death is a transition in the non physical. But right now, I'm literally living it in terms of knowing that I know that he is here. He's right now also, he's listening to what I'm talking. And he's really listening. It's not that, you are just comforting yourself by saying that, oh, your loved ones are around you. No, they're really around you. That first-hand experience which I am actually experiencing right now, it's out of this world. Like, I can't even describe you how I feel when I'm experiencing this. And I do have this feeling that this is just a start. Like, there is more which is going to unfold, and there are a lot of miracles which I still need to experience in this life. That is what I feel.
I believe that. Pradnya, I can't thank you enough. Is there anything else that you want to add?
As you said that, is there any message I want to give to other twin flames who are facing separation or facing the death of their twin flame? For people who like this I really feel after he passing away, there are people who are messaging me that, oh, my twin flame is not talking to me, or he's ghosting me, or whatever. There are thousands of reasons why people are separated. I just feel like telling them that life is too short to hold your blocks. All these blocks are just an extension of your physical ego and physical personality. I think we need to make the most of our physical presence and their physical presence. If at all you want to make something nice, do something nice and don't hold the blocks, because I know that even in the chasers, twin flames who are chasers and who want union, who want to be with their twin flame, so many of them have so much ego, so much hurt, so much resentment towards their twin flame just because they are runners. It's not that their union is not happening because the runner is running. There is also a huge reason at their side as well, which they are holding. Life is too short to hold such things if you really look at this from this perspective of life and death. People who are really grieving the passing of their twin flame, I really want to tell every one of them that you just need to trust and look around. Your twin flame is with you. They have never left you. It is just your physical mind which is perceiving it like that they have left. That is what is my personal experience. So I can definitely say that.
Thank you so much. And I really hope, in the future, you'll consider coming back and talking more, maybe when we're a little further away from the trauma and this new part of your journey has spun out. I'd love to have you back.
Absolutely.
Thank you for listening. If you'd like to learn more about Justin's and my twin flame journey, please consider picking up our novella series. It's available on Amazon, Kindle, Audible, and Apple audiobooks today. It's called Souls on Fire, Memoirs of a Twin Flame True Love Journey. Look for parts 1 and 2. If you'd like to share your story of twin flame connection, please reach out to us at podcast@twinflamewarriors.com. Maybe we'll share your story in an upcoming episode. Thanks, and we'll talk to you next time.